Welcome back. My name is Jeff, and this is Wordfully Yours. Happy Halloween. Well, by the time this comes out, Halloween will already be over, so whatever. Last year I read Frankenstein, and I absolutely hated it. But everyone told me that Dracula was so much better, so it was this year's read. Okay, so spoilers ahead for a book that's 126 years old. Not as old as Frankenstein, but 126 years. You've had enough time to read this. So, spoilers ahead. If you care about such things. If not, go read the book and then come back. Anywho, the easiest way to describe this book, if you've ever seen the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula with Winona Ryder and that one guy from The Matrix, that movie is the closest to this book that I've seen. It actually follows it pretty close. The movie adds in a romantic thing. If there was a romantic connection between not Winona Ryder, but Mina and Dracula, I didn't catch it in the book. It was nowhere to be found. His intentions weren't really made clear, other than he seemed to really like England. Other than that, the book didn't really explain his motivations for wanting to go. A romantic interest just wasn't in there. At least if there was, I didn't catch it. The characters in the book were strangely idealistic. Not really that they were perfect characters per se, but more along the lines of Bram Stoker was depicting in his book what the idealistic man and woman should be, such as the man should be like this, such as the woman should be like this, such as the man is good at this, the woman is good at that. And not just once or twice, but several times he does this. The beginning of the book is really scary. It's frightening. It's jarring. It seems to come out of nowhere, as if everything that happens is from a world that is real and you just stepped into. I love the first half of the book, but after that, it feels like it just kind of stops and instead is replaced by this weird romance of Lucy from her suitors. Her suitors get very almost Shakespearean in their courting of Lucy. And her suitors, like, they all like each other, and they're all friends with each other, and they all hang out and shoot pool or whatever it is that guys do back then, or did back then. It was so weird. I mean, like I said, it was this idealistic depiction of what men and women should be. So I guess men should totally just hang out and get along when they're after the same chick. But the things it did well, it did really well. It was very scary. The world was very well drawn out and depicted, and you did feel like you were stepping out of your world into the world of Dracula. It was a world most of the time. Most of the time when it was being the world of Dracula. The chapter where Dracula came over on the ship, the Demeter, that was probably the scariest chapter of the whole book. It was so scary. Like, I think there's a movie coming out just specifically for that boat trip. I mean, it was horrifying. I was scared. A book scared me. And that's saying something for a book that is 126 years old. So, good on Mr. Stoker. But again, if I were to rate a book that's 126 years old, I don't know if it would be fair, because the world is different now than it was back then. The point of writing books is different than it is back then. my rating of it now can only be comparing this book against the books that are out currently and the books that I have read that are fresh in my mind. So I'm basically comparing this classic piece of literature against Jurassic Park and everything else. That being said, I give Dracula a solid 7.2 out of 10. My favorite character of the book has to be Abraham Van Helsing. Anthony Hopkins in the movie perfectly depicted Abraham Van Helsing in the book. Perfectly depicted. There can be no better actor for Abraham Van Helsing than Anthony Hopkins. Anyway, so that is my quick and dirty review of Bram Stoker's Dracula. I'm happy I read it. I'll probably read it again one day. Thanks for stopping by. May your library be fully funded and well stocked, and I will see you later.